What is going on? How y'all guys doing? Y'all know what time it is. This is another edition of Crime Stories, where I come to you with some of the craziest crimes known to man. Now, this crime story is interesting. This woman was the pioneer of teacher and student lines being blurred so bad that when she decided to go against the grain and blur those lines, a lot of people's lives got screwed up, including hers, and a life was lost. Today, I am going to go into the detail about this woman right here. Oh, excuse me. I don't know why that did that. I thought I had that off. All right. This woman right here, Pamela Smart. That's right. Pamela Smart. And when I tell you this story, it's going to kind of screw you up in the head. Oh, it's going to screw you up in the head. It's going to make you really understand that when people do some of the most craziest things, they do not think at all. When I say they don't think, they don't think. So tonight we're going to talk about again the story of Pamela Smart, how a woman who had everything going for her and let lust and stupidity, well, made it come all crashing down. And I say crashing down, it went crashing down. Pamela Ann Smart was born on August the 16th, 1967. She was born in Windham, New Hampshire. She was the daughter of John and Linda Warhouse. Now, she grew up in Miami, Florida before her family moved to Kenobi Lake, New Hampshire, where she was in the 8th grade. Now, Pamela attended secondary school at Pinkerton Academy in Derry, where she was a cheerleader. And they said that she was very smart, bright, got good grades, very popular. People love to be around Pamela. Okay. Now, after that, she decided to graduate from Florida State University. She got a degree in communications at Florida State University. And then she been was a host at that college as a radio program. People said that this woman had a presence about her that was just fascinating. All the guys love Pamela. Pamela was that chick, man. When I say she was that chick, she was that chick. Everybody wanted to be around Pamela. And that was straight facts. Now, as time went on, Pamela met Gregory Smart while she was in New Hampshire visiting her family on break in 1986. They said the moment that she saw him, sparks started flying. They formed a serious relationship that next year in February of 1987. And then they married 2 years later, with Gregory moving to Florida to live with Pamela during her senior year at FSU. Now, they love heavy metal music. And They love, like you're in a young couple. Heavy metal music, little drinking, little party, hanging out with the friends. But however, 7 months into that marriage, they begin having difficulties in their relationship. So Pamela took a job as a media coordinator at the Winnicott High School in Hampton, New Hampshire, where she was at the school. She met a sophomore named William Billy Flynn at the Project Self Esteem local drug awareness program at the Winnicott High School, where they both were volunteers. Now they bonded over having a liking for uh, heavy metal music. And then she also met another intern named Cecilia Pierce, who was friends with old Billy. Now, while she was bonding with these young people, behind the scenes, her husband decided to clean up his act. He cut his long hair. He got a professional job. I don't know what job he got that was professional, but he started acting more mature. He wanted to be more successful. He was acting more of an adult. Pamela, on the other hand, just didn't want to let that side of life go. Pamela still thought she was in high school and in college. And you know what they say when people start thinking like that? You start thinking like a child, you start doing childish shit. Now, on May 1st, 1990, Pamela Smart came home from a meeting at work to find her condominium ransacked and her husband, Gregory, murdered. Now, police officials said the crime scene looked like a disrupted burglary. Smart, got in front of the police, played her part, and everything like that. And you know how they go. They're gonna bring her in for questioning. She said she didn't know anything about it. You know how that thing goes. So during the investigation, they started digging. And while they started digging in the investigation, they started to find out that Pamela was not the sweet and innocent, loving school teacher that was trying to help young kids get on the right path like she said she was. They realized that she was seducing 15-year-old Billy Flynn and was threatening to stop having sex with this guy because she was playing the role and tugging on his emotions, saying stuff like she was being abused by her husband wasn't doing her right. The whole thing that older women do to younger men, or older men do to younger women to get them to do their dirty work. So, with that being said, they started realizing that there's a possibility that uh, old Billy had something to do with this murder, and possibly he might have incorporated more than one accomplice or set of bodies to assist, and maybe the mastermind was possibly going to be, Miss Pamela Smart. So during an investigation, they found out that Billy was friends with a guy named Patrick Pete Randall, Vance Jr., Latter Time Jr., and another guy named Raymond Fowler. Okay, so anyway, uh, during that whole process, okay, during the investigation, they found that Latimer's father had brought a 38 caliber pistol, and they found it in his house. To the police, believing it might have been the murder weapon that was used on her husband. Now, on May 14th, the cops got an anonymous tip, right? Uh, that also indicated that Pierce, which, like I said again, uh, was aware, excuse me, of the plan. Now, police talked to Pierce, and they agreed to wear a wire and record conversations with Smart in hopes that she would say something incriminating, which she did. And on August 1st, 1990, Detective Daniel Pelletier and approached Smart in her school parking lot. Smart recognized him, having spoken to him on at least 6 other occasions. Taken by surprise, she had the nerve to ask, "What's up?" "Well, Pam," Petler said in the recording, "I have some good news and I have some bad news. The good news is that we saw the murder of your husband. The bad news is you're under arrest." Oh, Lord. That sounds like a damn movie line. "What for?" And Smart asked. He said, "First-degree murder." Smart was then handcuffed, arraigned at the Derry District Court, and jailed at the New Hampshire State Prison for Women, which was in Goffstown at the time. Now, when the trial came around, it was crazy. This was like the juiciest piece of scandal that they could ever think of in the 90s. Think about it. A good looking teacher that used to be a cheerleader that was real popular in college has turned around and murdered a husband. Like that doesn't even pan out. It doesn't work, right? But anyway, getting back to the trial, while the media was watched the whole trial and garnered the considerable attention that it was getting, right? They allowed the TV cameras in the courtroom. Now, at the time, she faced a life in prison. And back then that was very rare for a woman to be facing life in prison. It was very rare to see a woman, especially of Pam Smart's caliber, good looking, attractive, had everything going for her, would stoop to be with teenagers and collude with them to kill her husband. But now what was crazy is that all of the teenager co-conspirators had already made deals with the state to make sure that they got lighter sentences to testify against Pamela Smart. Now, when the oral arguments began on March 4th, 1991, Assistant Attorney General Diane Nicolosi portrayed the teenagers as naive victims of an evil woman. You know how that goes. Bent on murder. The prosecution portrayed Pamela Smart as the cold-blooded mastermind who controlled her underage sex partner. Nicolosi claimed that Smart seduced Flynn to get him to murder her husband so that she could avoid an expensive divorce and benefit from a $140,000 insurance policy. I don't know why in these cases it's always insurance policies. Do people don't know right about now that when you try to do that shit that it never works? When you try to take on somebody over an insurance policy, it always happens this way. Okay, I'm going to do this for the insurance policy. I can get out of debt. I can live free. It never happens, man. It never does. You wind up getting the brunt end of the stick. I don't know why people keep doing it. It's I don't understand. Now, in her testimony, Smart acknowledged that she had what she termed an affair with an underage boy, but claimed that the murder of her husband was solely the doing of Flynn and her friends and his friends as a reaction to her telling Flynn that she wished to end their relationship and repair her marriage. Oh Lord. She insisted that she neither participated in the murder plot nor had in foreknowledge of it, though Flynn claimed he had fallen in love with Smart when he first met her. Cecilia Pierce testified at the trial that Smart and Flynn were originally just friends. Yeah. Pierce first noticed a change something about February with this lady, when Smart confessed to her that she loved Billy. Flynn testified at trial that he was a virgin before he had sex with Pamela Smart. That's why he went crazy. At the 14-day trial that culminated on March the 22nd, 1991, in the Rockingham County Superior Court, Smart was found guilty of being an accomplice to first-degree murder and witness tampering. The tampering stemmed from Pamela's coercing Cecilia not to say anything to authorities or to lie. The conviction was largely the result of the testimony of the co-conspirators and secretly tape conversations. They do it with them wires back then. They was getting them, and which Smart appeared to contradict her claims of having wanted to reconcile with her husband and having no knowledge of the boy's plot. She could have been charged with capital murder, but the prosecution decided against it. Later that day, she was given a mandatory sentence of life in prison, without the possibility of parole. Now, Smart argued that the media had influenced her trial and conviction, as she explained in the 2014 HBO documentary Captivated: The Trials of Pamela Smart. Now, Pamela is serving life sentence at the maximum security Bedford Hills Correctional Facility for women in Worcester County, New York, but she was transferred in 1993 from the New Hampshire State Prison for Women in Gulfstown. At the time, New Hampshire officials said the transfer was for unspecified security reasons, probably because they wanted to kill her because she done messed with an underage boy. Co-defendants William Flynn and Patrick Randall were also transferred out of state, in both cases to Maine State Prison in Warren, Maine. Ooh, they told them they go out of state. The specific reasons for Smart's transfer are unclear. In 2007, a senior assistant in the state's attorney general's office told the Keene State Equinox that Smart was transferred due to disciplinary problems. While she had occurred 22 disciplinary reports, all but two of them were for minor offenses. Deputy Combat Administrator Denise. Oh yeah, thank you. Keep giving me that award, girl. Y'all light me up, I definitely need something. I'm trying to get to $10. Help a brother out. Now, the Deputy Compact Administrator Denise Heath claimed that at the time there were fears that the state prison for women was not suitable for high-profile inmate like Smart, and that it would be too easy for someone to break her out. However, New Hampshire has never had a formal transfer agreement with New York. Heath believed the transfer was a commissioner to commissioner arrangement. Smart's family maintains that they were never informed of the transfer. Although she maintains her innocence, Smart has conceded that her husband would still be alive if she had not had what she continues to describe as an affair with Flynn, a minor. Yeah, okay. While in prison, Smart has tutored other inmates and has completed 2 master's degrees with concentration in literature and legal studies from Mercy College, which were paid for with private funds from Mercy College. Smart became a member of the National Organization for Women Campaigning for Rights for Women in Prison. In October 1996, Smart was severely beaten by fellow inmates Mona Graves and Guyana Miller. They resulted in the insertion of a plastic plate in the left side of her face. The 2 inmates beat Smart after they accused her of snitching on them about their prison relationship. Ooh, damn, boy. Graves and Miller were convicted of second-degree assault in the attack on Smart at Bed Hills Correctional Facility and was subsequently transferred to separate prisons. That's what they usually do. As a result of the beating, she takes medication for chronic pain and sometimes thinks of suicide. Her counselor, Dr. Eleanor Pell, says that she has many dark days. Smart says she still keeps track of Flynn because she regards him as being the key to her freedom. He is one of the few people that could actually get me out of here by coming forth and telling the truth, but he's never going to do that, said Smart. Well, what do you think? I mean, you took the man's uh, virginity, then you turned around, you got him to kill your husband, and he had to serve time too. So you think this guy's going to be like, oh, yeah, sure, Pam, anything for you, boo. Come on, Pam. In 2003, photos of a scantily clad Smart was published in the National Enquirer. She filed a complaint against the prison and was placed in solitary confinement for 2 months. Smart sued, claiming that the photos were taken by a prison guard who had raped her, but the lawsuit was dismissed. In 2004, Smart and a fellow inmate, Carolyn Warmus, sued officials of Bedford Hills, claiming sexual harassment and sexual assault by a correctional officer, who they said coerced them into posing for the suggestive pictures published in 2003. On November the 5th, 2009, a U.S. District Court judge approved a $23,875 judgment to Smart from the state of New York. Smart received $8,750, while her attorney received the remaining balance for attorney fee. God, dog, that's crazy. That's all you get? Damn. Boy, they trying to make sure your ass ain't got no love. While serving her sentence, Smart took part in Writer's Workshop, which was facilitated by playwright Eve Ensler. The workshop and Smart's writing were exhibited in 2003 PBS documentary, What I Want My Words to Do to You. In April 2004, the first U.S. Court of Appeals upheld a 2002 ruling by a federal judge who rejected her federal habeas petition. Previous to her federal appeal, Smart has exhausted all judicial appeals at the state level. In July 2005, the New Hampshire Executive Council unanimously denied a pardon request for any conditions the government may seek to impose. In an interview with ABC News, Smart indicated that she's afraid of growing old and dying in prison and would rather have been given the death penalty. Well, damn, you should have thought about that before you did what you did. You know they were going to do that to you. You're a pretty lady at the time, former cheerleader. Come on. So let's talk about the co-conspirators. You probably want to know where the hell they're at today. William Flint was sentenced to life in prison for second-degree murder. Not eligible for parole for 40 years with 12 years of minimum sentence deferred. If he maintains good behavior, Flynn was incarcerated at the Maine State Prison in Warren, where he earned his GED, has been active in charity work, and worked as an electrician at the prison. In 2007, Flynn sought a sentence reduction after serving 16 years, stated that he has vowed not to do so until he has spent as many years behind bars as he spent free. He also apologized to Gregg Smart family for murdering him. The Smart family opposed the request. On February 12, 2008, the request was denied. Although Flynn's earliest parole eligibility date was reduced by 3 years to 25 years, making him eligible for parole in 2015. In July 2014, Flynn's earliest parole was moved. Give me 1 second.